Este vai ser provavelmente um dos episódios mais vikings do Hashtag Sal. Eu vou entrevistar um velejador norueguês que é conhecido por mostrar no YouTube como é velejar em tempestades no Mar do Norte.
Set my bow inside now. This is it's getting a bit crazy. Look at this.
Estou aqui na Urca, praia cheia, caipirinha, som alto, sol, calor, suando bicas. Existe lugar mais perfeito para entrevistar Erik Andere, do No Bullshit, Just Sailing. Eu sou fã do canal dele e ele mostra como velejar no Mar do Norte. Um lugar cheio de neve, tempestades grandes e muito frio. E nós estamos aqui.
É um canal em inglês muito bacana e se você não conhece ainda, deveria dar uma olhada. Uma das coisas que eu mais gosto nele é o fato de ele conseguir gravar a sensação de estar em mau tempo, né? Não é nada fácil. É difícil dar a real dimensão das ondas, o movimento do barco e a percepção da velocidade do vento. E o Erik é muito bom nisso. Então eu resolvi gastar mais uma vez o meu inglês meia boca com ele e mostrar essa história aqui no canal. A entrevista é em inglês, mas tem legendas. É só você ligar a legenda aqui no YouTube.
Man, at first, thanks for your time. It's an honor to have you here and I'm a big fan of your show. I'm very afraid of using drones in situations like this. There's any secret to do that?
Well, the secret, I guess, is to when the wind is strong, I put the bow or the boat downwind to get less movements on the boat, and then I launch and recover it downwind, and then I turn the boat up against the wind after launching, and then
Yeah, but I seen you lost some drones too, time to time.
Yeah, I think it's my fourth now, number 4. So so it's getting expensive, for sure.
Se eu já não arriscava muito com meu drone antes, com a atual cotação do dólar, eu fiquei bem mais medroso.
So now I'm going to try to talk on the way, doing this. Okay, here we go. She's in GPS mode now. That means if you let go of the handles, she will just fly in the air. Okay. So when I let her go now, it just go up and away. And there she hangs in GPS mode. There we go. There she is. Wow. 29% left. That was maybe the most difficult landing so far.
Do you have any background on filmmaking?
No, nothing at all. I started by myself 4 years ago now, 2016.
I have a background on that for years, and you do a very good filmmaking, very good cinematography. It's really nice. I enjoy it a lot. Do you edit yourself?
Yeah, I do everything myself. Yes, I do.
Great.
Yeah, it's all in the details, I guess. To spend time in the details to get it good.
It's very hard to record wind. It's actually impossible, but I see that you use very well to record and show the effects of the wind and the motion and the sound, and that works beautifully.
It's a good study to make the wind, because you need to have the camera at a certain angle compared to the wind angle, not to get that breaking sound. So I did a lot of study on it.
Fear is only produced by the lack of knowledge, or not knowing. To get knowledge, you will have to face your fear. When you face your fear, you get knowledge and you can hear, see and feel what you fear. After this point, the fear disappears because you know what this is. The best textbook or video in the world can never teach you this. You just gotta go for it or not.
When you think about sailing in history and books and stories, like the sagas, probably you already read Joshua Slocum, Bernard Moitessier, the Lusíadas, or even the Odyssey. They all picture very well the human condition of sailing, how it is to be there, how it is to feel there. They are all very philosophical in a sense. In this regard, how do you feel at the sea? What the sea changes in you?
I love the sea, you know. It makes me feel in peace with myself, and I love to be isolated in my boat. Just the longer offshore, the better it is. It just gives me a amazing feeling. I don't know if I can explain it, but it does something special to me, and I'm always seeking for new adventures. Always want out again.
Every time in the city we feel so connected to everything, and there's a lot of messages buzzing, and the sea is one of the few places I feel the same, that suddenly everything stops and you are face to face with yourself. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, just the same. I have a job back here in my hometown, and from 9 to 4 every day, you know, and I to be honest, I don't like that kind of life. So I really just want to get out of there, and the way to do it is by boat and just sail away on the ocean. It's the best feeling ever. So that's my runaway kind of thing from everything.
Se você comparar o padrão médio de vida de alguém desse século com alguém de 100 anos atrás, somos muito mais ricos materialmente. Muitas pessoas hoje têm dinheiro suficiente. Infelizmente ainda não todas, mas certamente mais do que há um século. Elas estão cheias de gadgets, telas, mensagens tocando o dia inteiro, entretenimento à vontade, mas em grande parte muito pobres de experiências únicas e verdadeiras.
The standard life is to having to work every day, and that's it. And someday you're gonna die, and you have to look back in your life and you think, well, was it worth it? And for myself, I want to make an interesting life and do what I do. So I think it's an amazing way to live.
Approaching Værøy is a powerful statement that we are now well into Lofoten and in an Arctic environment. Closing into the bay of Måstavika takes your breath away when the huge walls of stone surrounds you the deeper in you get. Finally, I could make my anchor ready and find my spot just outside a beautiful white beach. The whole thing felt pretty spectacular and surreal.
When I started to sail here in Brazil, it just came to me all the history I learned in school of how Brazil was discovered and the great navigations of the Portuguese. History became very live to me because I was suddenly feeling the same smells and motion that probably they felt. Your channel, for me, looks a lot Viking, you know, because of the places and all. Do you feel this connection with the past?
Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I'm an ancient Viking inside my heart. I don't know, but I really love the stories, the Viking stories, and how they developed and how they got their land and how they got to where they went at last. And it's an amazing story to follow. So I just want to try to follow it somehow.
Have you thought about making some historical journeys, like maybe Eric the Red going to England, Canada?
You never know. It crossed my mind to follow the path of the Vikings for sure. Yes, and it's an amazing ride. So maybe one day.
Eric the Red, ou Érico Vermelho em português, foi um viking que talvez tenha sido o primeiro europeu a se estabelecer na Groenlândia. Mais tarde, seu filho, Leif Erikson, possivelmente tenha feito algo ainda maior. Na década de 60, na região de Lancel Meadows, no Canadá, arqueólogos encontraram uma vila viking datada do século 1000, 500 anos antes de Colombo chegar na América, confirmando uma saga islandesa de que o filho de Érico Vermelho havia feito uma pequena vila e a batizou de Vinland, ou Terra do Vinho.
Now you are living just with your channel? Do you have another daytime job, something like that?
Yeah, I have. I'm working as an instructor for what do you call it, safety preparedness for people working on ships and oil platforms offshore. That's my job.
O Eric sempre fala em seus vídeos que o medo vem da falta de conhecimento. Eu não poderia discordar disso. No mar, quanto mais você conhece, menos tem medo. Mas embora seja possível, claro, aprendermos muito, não é possível aprender tudo. Sempre um pouquinho do medo está ali. Como lidar com isso?
Well, I've been sailing for 30 years now, so along with those 30 years I built confidence while sailing, you know, and I got to know myself, and it takes time. It's not done in a day, you know, you need to do it over some fair amount of time. Like today I know myself, you know, as I say in the video, I know my limitations, and I know when to go and when not to go. It's just a feeling, I guess. You can feel it in your guts if it's a smart idea or not. So it's nothing worse than going offshore and being afraid. It's a terrible feeling.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot of people that is starting to sail now thinks more about how to sail, and obviously that is super important. But the safety in a small boat is too in how to fix your boat. And I see that you are very skilled on it too.
Yeah, I think that's what I love with single-handed sailing, to be dependent, self-dependent. Nobody can tell you what to do, you know, and you're completely free. It's a total feeling of freedom, I think. So for me it's very important.
Yeah, there we go. Shouldn't be afraid of heights doing this. And there, I'm on the top.
There is a great Brazilian sailor and explorer. I don't know if you heard about him. His name is Amir Klink. He sailed around Antarctica inside the polar circle, and he made a boat for that, and he's a great sailor. I interviewed him, and he told me that what gives him the most fear was not the sea itself, but things on land. How to get resources for the journey. Will I start at all? And how to get money and family. Do you have any kind of these difficulties on your channel and your travels?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you said, because the problems have to be solved on land, you know. Once you get at sea, you know, all the work is done and you can go offshore. So getting the money and having a fort to get it, and it's just tons of work.
Há filósofo escandinavo chamado Søren Kierkegaard, que falava sobre o conceito de angústia ou ansiedade. Quando você está pensando em mudar de vida ou não, e você realmente pode fazer isso, só depende de você, é muito comum um medo difuso, fora de forma, tomar conta. Você tem uma grande vontade de ir, mas ao mesmo tempo um medo que te empurra para trás. O Kierkegaard chamava isso de uma vertigem da liberdade, como quem está prestes a saltar de um abismo. Quando você encara uma escolha dessas, com vários caminhos disponíveis, cada um que você não escolhe é um caminho que você joga fora. E por isso às vezes é tão difícil decidir em um cardápio com muitas opções. Quando você está no mar, parece que tudo fica mais simples, que muito já foi escolhido.
For me it's the right life. It's a life without stress, negative stress. You know, we have positive stress and negative stress. If I stress offshore, it's some kind of positive stress that I gain from, but on land you have the negative stress with work and money and bills and everything. So it's two different kinds of lives, I think.
Yeah, because the stress you have on a boat is easy, because or you can fix it or you cannot fix it. There's a few options, like something's broke, you have to fix it. But in life you have some kind of problems that are not fixable, and you have to deal it for a long time.
I agree with that. If you can fix it, you have to fix it. If not, just let it be. Don't think about it. Don't focus on it, on the things that you cannot fix.
I see that you are always in your channel sailing alone. Do you prefer to sail alone or enjoy company time to time?
If I'm inshore, I enjoy company, but offshore, I rather sail alone. If I have company, I like them to be experienced sailors to make life a little bit easier. I did a lot of sail courses offshore some years ago, and I had a lot of people with me that never had sailed before, and it was stressful, to say the least.
Let's take down that mainsail. The last couple of hours, the wind had picked up, touching gale force. It's fascinating to see how quickly the waves increasing violently. and how easy they toss my boat around. Instead of fearing the conditions, I much rather change my mindset to embrace the hell and chaos evolving ahead of my boat. It's there to make you stronger, and I see it as a rare gift given for us to have the opportunity to put up a real fight. To recover my mainsail, I am forced to climb forward along deck to the mast. That's where the halyard is to be released in order to pull the sail down by hand. In 30 knots of headwinds, crashing into 4 to 6 meter waves, this is the most risky job to be done on my boat. So the main focus is two things: hold fast and stay on board.
O máximo que eu já velejei sozinho foi durante 32 horas. O grande problema é como se manter bem acordado, porque não é possível simplesmente dormir e deixar o barco por si só por longos períodos.
I don't have any schedule to follow, but maybe 20 minutes of just resting and then up, have a look around, then down again, 20 minutes and then up and down. And during night I don't sleep so much, so I sleep and rest in daylight when I know other boats can see me.
As I saw in charts and in your channel, the Norwegian coast have a lot of safe anchorage, a lot of places to enter and to go step by step on the coast.
Yes, it's 1100 nautical miles of coast, and you have a lot to choose from, inshore and offshore.
Is it possible to sail in the winter there, or there's just a season, just summer?
No, it's all year sailing. It's cold in the winter, but it's absolutely sailable.
Acho que eu ia curtir, mas muita gente no Brasil ia torcer o nariz.
Comfortable. Yeah. Just gonna take my clothes off and have them dry out a little bit. Oh, I'm soaked. That was pretty scary. Scary stuff. I went way too close to land back here. You can see it's shallow all the way here, 6 meters. And I got too close and I almost got caught in the terrible waves.
I know that you don't like warm weather. Is it true?
Yeah, my body can't cope with it. I overheat and I just melt down. So I need cold.
Do you ever think about going in the South America, like in Patagonia, Magellan Strait?
I would like to cross to sail around the Cape, the South Cape, Cape Horn. That would be amazing, absolutely. But I haven't thought too much about it. No, I have all my sailing life up here in the north, so I haven't done too much thought about it sailing south.
É óbvio que eu convidei ele para viajar pelo sul, se não no Brasil, porque ele não gosta muito do calor, mas quem sabe na Patagônia lá embaixo, onde ele fica mais ambientado. Eu nunca experimentei o frio de verdade, congelante ainda, mas eu gosto bastante do inverno do Rio Grande do Sul. E tenho uma enorme vontade de descer velejando até Ushuaia um dia.
I like cold anchorage and warm temperature anchorage as well, but I think what I like the most is places that are not crowded, places that are where there are solitude. How is the Norwegian coast about that? I know there's a lot of sailboats.
Yeah, it's especially this year with the Corona situation. There was a lot of Norwegians along the coast now. But you can easily find a spot for yourself. It's not crowded at all. It's not. But so it's tons of places you can go without even having to meet people if you want to.
Well, I know that the North Sea has a lot of winds and a lot of difficult situations, times. But I saw in your last video that it has a lot of calms too. A lot of times with no wind at all. I had a friend that sailed from Canada to Greenland in an open catamaran, and he did not manage to do that because he had to be towed less days because lack of wind. Is there this pattern of days with a lot of wind and days totally without wind?
Well, I think the Norwegian coast is most known for having all kinds of weather all the time. It's not a pattern. It can be 1 week with completely quiet, and it just explodes in a storm, and then it's quiet again. And so you really don't know what to get. You just have to follow the weather reports, and the reports are pretty good, you know. So you can have everything in a couple of days.
There are a lot of guys who watch my channel and watch your channel too, and then I asked them on Instagram, what do you ask to Eric? Then I sorted out some questions here. Which skills you need to sail at high latitudes?
You have to dress well. I don't think you didn't need any proper skills other than you have to know how to sail, obviously. But go a little bit more prepared for cold weather and have clothes on, and maybe have a lot of food, a good food stack, and have a dry boat so you don't get wet and cold.
When did you know that facing the beast will make you feel alive? Probably facing bad weather and
outside my coast here, we have a lot of bad weather. So maybe in my early years of when I started sailing, I knew that this was for me, built for me. I love big waves, and I always liked it. And it's the challenge that attracts me offshore every time.
Do you like to sail only in bad weather?
No, I love nice weather as well. But if I had to choose, I would take the bad weather, I think.
Which was the worst boat problem you had to face?
Well, I just outside my town here, I crashed on shore with my boat and I broke it in pieces. But I got it fixed again. But that was my biggest mistake. But it went alright.
Does cold weather affects more the boat compared to warmer weather, like freezing water tubes and something like that?
Well, we don't have an icing problem where I live, so it's the same, I guess. But I think the boat maybe has a little better of flying in cold weather than very hot weather, you know, with delamination and plastic and all that. It may be a little better environment for boats up here.
And the last one, that is amazing. Eric Andera, will you marry me?
Who's asking?
A girl.
Right, if it's a girl, it's okay. I'll marry her.
Bom, deu match.
Certainly your trips are not the most comfortable of all because you go into bad weather. Why you do that? Why you go to tempests? Why do you do the way you do to sail alone in this bad weather?
It's a challenge, I think. I really can't say exactly why, but it's just a feeling inside me. I just love the way the bad weather challenged me, and all the different ways. You need to know how to sail. You need to know the technology of the boat and navigate and everything. It takes a lot out of you, and it's pretty demanding, and I think that's the challenge that I like with it.
What do you think that you give to your audience, and why they support you? What's the importance of your channel for them?
I think it's a little bit unusual. You know, many people want to try how to sail alone, and many people don't dare to try because they think it's dangerous, and of course it's dangerous at times, but I think maybe for them to see someone else actually do it maybe inspires them, and see that it is possible.
I don't know if you someday you will try to go again to hot waters. If you think someday to come to Brazil, you'll be very welcome. We can make up to you to manage this problem with you with hot. There's a lot of caipirinhas here and barbecue every day. Beautiful.
I've actually sailed down to Malaga in Spain in 2007, and it was 43 degrees Celsius. It was way too hot, so I tried it. I've been there.
Oh, 43, it's a lot for me too.
It was crazy.
It's hard to have more than 40 degrees here. It's not that common, you know.
No, I don't hope so.
Yeah, and especially in the north of Brazil, it is hot, but there's a lot of breeze, you know. There is a very constant wind. Every day, almost the same direction, because it's the trade winds.
Yeah, it's easy sailing, I guess.
The very South Atlantic it's rough. It's probably like the North Sea, you know. But almost all Brazilian coast, it's very good. It's not It's very easy place to sail. There's no hurricanes or nothing.
Maybe I'll come and join you one day. You never know.
If you are in Brazil, please contact us. We'll keep in contact, and you're welcome. You can stay in my boat. You have free pass for everything.
Well, you're welcome here in Norway if you want to come and have a little cold weather. All of you guys. And I'll take care of it. We can go sail anytime.
Muita gente deve olhar os vídeos do Eric e se perguntar: por que ele faz isso? É óbvio que muitos não veem muito sentido no que ele faz. Alguns não gostam de frio, outros não gostam de mar agitado, preferem só mar calmo. Mas na vida eu vejo que cada um precisa construir o seu próprio sentido na vida. Não há nenhum pronto para você. O porquê que você trabalha, gasta o seu tempo e saúde para realizar, só você pode dizer. E o difícil é que não basta criar qualquer coisa e pronto. O meu sentido é esse. Você precisa acreditar nele. Acreditar de verdade, porque senão ele escorrega, evapora. E isso você não acha para vender no mercado, na loja online, ou um curso que você faz, ou no discurso do seu guru. É algo que você constrói ao longo da vida. E nem nota. Até que em algum momento ele se torna óbvio, como se fosse impossível outra opção. É difícil, mas depois que você tem uma ideia do que ele é bem mais fácil escolher os seus caminhos. Você já sabe qual é o seu sentido na vida. Super obrigado a você que deu like, compartilhou e ajudou o canal a crescer aqui no YouTube. E muito, muito obrigado mesmo a todos que se tornaram apoiadores do #Sal no Apoia-se. O canal só existe por causa de vocês. E se você quiser também se tornar um apoiador, deixe um café pra nós por lá e o link está aqui embaixo e também na descrição onde você pode clicar. Não se esqueça também de se inscrever no Nômade Ali, da Aline, a minha mulher, que fez vários dos episódios mais legais aqui no #Sal e eu tenho certeza que você vai gostar.